It feels like a long time ago now, but on his way to Helsinki this week, President Trump stopped by the UK to make lots of people angry and keep an old lady waiting.
As contempt raged through the city, 60 minutes away in Windsor, Her Majesty waited patiently.
Yes, she waited and waited and waited, finally understanding what it feels like to be Prince Charles. And when he finally did arrive, Trump, as usual, put America first.
At times, Donald was one step ahead, a royal no-no, and then an abrupt stop. Trump blocking the Queen, the royal walking around, pointing the way and giving the president a hurry-up as they continued to inspect the honour guard.
I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, she's right behind you, brother. Where is she?
Ha-ha! One tapped one on one shoulder, yet one appeared over one's other shoulder. Good one. But the Queen wasn't the only woman whose day was ruined by Donald Trump.
The president slammed May on everything from Brexit to trade to immigration in the pages of Britain's best-selling newspaper.
Adding more insult to injury, President Trump suggested Boris Johnson, the cabinet minister who just resigned over May's exit strategy, would make a great prime minister.
Now that is a real insult, to say that your job could be done better by this man. For more on this, we're joined by our UK correspondent, Jonathan Pye. Jonathan, we've just seen the British protesters. They were out in force.
Thanks, Charlie. Yes, the UK recently received a visit from cheesy Dorito-in-chief Donald Trump, who is the living embodiment of why democracy might not be such a great idea after all. And yeah, we protested, all right, Charlie. We fought back, hard, with a blimp. A f***ing balloon, Charlie. A balloon. That tells you all you need to know about the state of Britain right now. In Britain, when faced with a dangerously unqualified president whose rhetoric is often demonstrably racist and whose administration threatens world order by willfully ignoring international treaties and diplomatic norms, we fight back the only way we know how. Balloons. Soon we'll be fighting bigotry with party poppers. Take that, Pauline Hanson. Pop. Ah! It gets worse, Charlie. They raised more than £30,000 for this giant inflatable Donald Trump baby, and it was approved by London Mayor Sadiq Khan. In response, a bunch of Trump supporters have raised £50,000 for a slightly bigger inflatable baby of the London Mayor. I kid you not. This is what politics in 2018 is reduced to. Basically, just a bunch of inflatable babies, which is a pretty accurate description of Theresa May's cabinet. It's really quite depressing.
Well, it's not all bad, Jonathan. Your government is a shambles, but at least England had a good World Cup campaign.
Yes, the England team did so much better than anyone could have expected or hoped for. The atmosphere across the country was electric. People were out in the sun, people were smiling. It was wonderful. And then we lost and we all went back to being miserable twats again.
Right, so what's the mood of the country now?
I'll tell you the mood, Charlie. The only thing that's come home is the football team. We essentially don't have a functioning government right now because the ruling party is tearing itself apart, which is great because I hate the bastards. But it's terrible because in the process the country is falling apart at the seams. Meanwhile, citizens of our country right now are quite routinely being assassinated with radioactive poison allegedly sanctioned by the Russian government. We continue, as a matter of course, to sell arms to Saudi Arabia, one of the world's most progressive countries. I mean, they're even letting women drive now. And, of course, we're leaving the EU. But no one, and I mean no one, knows how to leave the EU. But we have to leave the EU because when asked, we said we did want to leave the EU. So now we have to leave the EU because if we don't leave the EU, we undermine democracy in a quite fundamental way, which is really annoying because on principle, I think we should stay in the EU. But on principle, because of the result, I now think we should leave. It's tearing me apart. It's tearing my country apart. I mean, it's a shit show, Charlie. What do you want me to say? It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming. It's not coming home, Charlie. It's
Jonathan Pye, thank you for your time.
Pleasure.